Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the LunchBox Comics Draw Stream, episode 45 to be exact. I remember when it used to be that I had a hard time doing more than like 3 episodes of anything in a row, and then I would quit. So being at episode 45 is actually really impressive for me on this kind of stuff. So so lately I have been dealing with burnout. And I'm starting to get over it pretty good. What's up, Mad Mill, my art brother? I'm starting to get over it pretty good, and I'm starting to get back into head mode again. I've been lax on myself for the last couple weeks, but tomorrow is April 1st, and tomorrow I'm going to start getting back into the full hardcore mode again. And tomorrow I'm going to be spending a lot of time working on art as well as tonight. But tomorrow is going to be another one. I'll go hit the gym, and then I'm going to hit the drawing table here and really get some squirrel stuff shored up. I might go on earlier tomorrow and just stream the whole thing. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I do plan to be doing some stuff. Mad Mel in the chat there, me and him are doing a show every Monday now. And I'm thinking about calling it the Art Brothers Art Show. And I'm going to get some stuff ready for that. I'll make a room for it. I'm going to get a thumbnail and some other stuff along those lines. And we'll be doing that every Monday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time here on my channel. Until we can get Mad Mel's channel up and going good. And then we'll be broadcasting to both of them. Some big news today. The Adventures of Cig and Joe Volume 1 is now on display for sale at Pantheon's Comics and Games in St. Helens, Oregon. So if you're a local to my area and you'll know where St. Helens, Oregon is, if you want to make your way out there, you could pick up a copy of The Adventures of Cig and Joe Volume 1 for $20 right now. So that's a huge thing for me. I've always dreamed about being in a comic book shop, and it's just one shop right now, but by the end of the year I hope to be in multiple. And I'm going to be doing a tour around Portland and Vancouver area and checking out more shops there. John, the owner of Pantheon Comics and Games, have recommended a couple shops to me, so I'm going to be going, hopefully getting Cig and Joe into more shops around the Portland, Vancouver, Southwest Washington, Northwest Oregon area. But yeah, it's a huge deal for me. I mean, this book represents the last almost 10 years of my life, kind of wrapped up in a physical form of me working on this stuff. I've done more stuff than just this, but this right here is just a huge kind of important milestone for. Oh yeah, thank you very much, Mel. It's a very important milestone for me, especially coming from a guy who didn't think I really could do anything, let alone draw one comic book, let alone draw 226 pages of comic book. So it's been kind of surreal. Let it soak all in. One thing I've noticed on this journey, whether it's the weight journey or the art journey, comic books, whatever, is that you do have to take time to look about how far you've come. You have to go look at the back and say, okay, wow, this is how far I've come, because sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere, all of the hard work and everything along those lines. But then when you really take a time and see where you came from, you can see how far you've traveled. And it's I think it's really important to reflect on that at times, and I'm very happy with where I'm at. So, without further ado, tonight I am going to be working on more designs for the Squirrel book, and tonight I'm going to design the Squirrel scout ship and possibly the mothership. I'm also going to also work on a tactician. I picked out a bug called the assassin bug. It's a really weird looking kind of guy, and it's kind of what I want for the tacticians. But I'm going to make some altercations to the design. And then I think I'm going to... Hey, what's up, Martha? Martha, I have not got a chance to email you back. I did see the thumbnail. I'm glad you're able to get downloaded issue 1. As for the colors of the characters, the issue 1 has a color cover, and it has the mains on there, and you could see it there. I am not picky about colors, but I will say this: if the artwork's going to go inside the book, it's going to be in black and white and gray. So just giving you a heads up on that. So if it's in color, I'm going to convert it. Now, if you want to do it in black and white with gray tones, that's cool. If you want to do it, just ink it and I'll gray tone it. That's cool. Also, whatever you want to do, I'm just giving you heads up. Now for promo art, I'll use the full colored image in like the Kickstarter and stuff along those lines. But in the book itself, it will be black and white because that's what I get my books printed in. The only time you can have color in a black and white book is on the cover itself. So I believe the cover for that issue number 1 I sent you, it digitally was colored and it shows the colors of all the characters, but you have some leeway. It's just Joe is a white coffee cup like you see at a diner, and Cig is a cigarette. As for like U-turn, yes, olive green with steel is what we were going with. Phil Leon, who did the coloring for my covers and does the coloring for all my covers, he kind of picked that when he made it, and I was cool with it. So you can play around with his costume if you show any part of that. But yeah, that's green with steel works, and I believe Marv was a blue color. It might be purple, but it looked kind of blue. So yeah. So either one of those, yeah, that's just fine with me on that. If you want to play around with some other colors, with the outfits and stuff, that is fine too. It's just the big thing was, yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. Yeah, that's perfectly fine then. Especially, and you're right, it is for YouTube. So. But yeah, let's get going here on working on that, and I'm glad to see everybody here. Mel, Dingus, Martha, U.S. Sarn stopped by for a bit, but he was tired and had to go rest. So I wish him the best on his recovery. And let's get over here to this. Why is that not sharing? I can fix that very quickly. Share, boom. We'll get your guys' music going. I'm probably going to sit down and make some more music. But usual jams right now. Okay. So for the scout ship, I'm going to design it kind of after a bumblebee. So let's get rocking and rolling on this. I hope everyone's having a good night. I am going to be doing my daily updates more often too. For the gas mask guy, I'll let you do whatever you want for him. The devil guy, make him red. And I was the technical head girl was a brunette. So just those are the only three really that's the only things that I'll say on those. With the gas mask guy, I'll let you have some fun with that one. And Tig and Mig are just straws, so I would just in my mind they're just white straws, maybe with a red stripe down the side if you want, but I was just planning them to be white straws. And then the candle guy is just your basic candle color. I wasn't going anything special with that. Yes, the overall pose was okay. I'm kind of excited to see it, but yeah, the overall pose is really cool. If you need anything like PNGs of the title, like the Adventures of Cig and Joe title, just tell me and I can send you PNGs of that. I can also send you my LunchBox logo, or I can put those on after you give me the artwork. So either way, it works out fine with me. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of draw the general shapes of the bumble, and then I'll convert it over to more mechanical. I like giving artists some freedom on this stuff, because I know I like having freedom when I'm doing stuff for other people, but there are certain things I want to stick to, like the Cig and Joe, essentially making them look like a cigarette in a diner coffee cup. That's kind of an important part, is the diner coffee cup. That has kind of an importance to me. Used to love going to the 24-hour like Denny's or any kind of like diner and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and draw like at 3 o'clock in the morning. I used to love to do that. And that's kind of, where partially Cig and Joe were born, was in stuff like that. So to me, that kind of diner coffee cup look is kind of important. Yeah, pretty much black leather. Like, I'll show you here. Give me one sec here, and I'll show you some of the other characters and how I was kind of, because this is also a lesson too. Like, I was not designing. With Cig and Joe, I was doing a lot of design work as I was drawing it, so I wasn't doing character sheets as much. And I'll show you here. By issue 4, I was doing character sheets. So let's see here. Where is Jack? Let me just look at the book itself. So here are 3 of the new henchmen, and it was essentially kind of, well, of course I'm going like a dark gray black with the hot lighter gray accents, but I didn't want any kind of flamboyant colors for them. I want this to be kind of more of like a black and grayish kind of color scheme for their actual outfits. I didn't want anything to be flamboyant because they are kind of a outlaw biker gang, kind of a post-apocalyptic world. And these 3 are the head children of Rex, if you will. Jack, Daisy, Boomer, and Lily. Lily's a sniper, Boomer's an explosives guy, and Jack Daisy is a sharpshooter, is a gun shooter, pistol gun shooter kind of guy. So those are the 3 that are going to be making a big impact in the next arc. And same thing with like Rex. I was just doing this kind of design here. It's not really biker, but at the same time, it's more a mix between biker and combat, if you will. But yeah, that's what I was kind of going off of, was either like black or like a darker gray, and then the lighter gray on the accents. But I wasn't going for any kind of flamboyant colors. Keep everything kind of matted with their outfits. that. Walk over here. Oh, awesome. Medieval theme. That's cool. Yeah, gotcha. That's perfect. Yeah, for sure, buddy. Sure thing, man. All right. No, I haven't done. No, the bikes are not a particular color. If you want to play around with that, feel free, because the bikes can be a little bit more flamboyant, so you can play around with that. And I am not on Whatnot. Whatnot's kind of like the. I don't know much about it but what I understand though is it's kind of like a an auction, if you will, real quick pace. Like, here, okay, I've got this item for sale. Check it out. Do you guys want it? And then like if I had comic books for resale, as in like collector issue kind of stuff, I'd probably use it. Oh, okay, cool. I'll make sure to check it out as soon as I get done here, Dingus. But yeah, Whatnot I've not played around with. To me, I thought it seemed like just a for more auctioning type kind of fast-paced stuff than it would be for like, you know, selling my own books. I might be wrong. I'd have to look into it more. I am looking into Comix Wellspring is starting to do a couple new programs, and I'm looking into those right now. They're doing a print-on-demand program, and they're also doing kind of like a publisher kind of program where you get 50 books and you let them put their label on your book front cover and also an ad on the inside, and you get 10% off of your additional 10% off of your sale when you do prints, but you have to do at least a 50 book print, and it's supposed to help you do marketing. So I don't know exactly all the details on it, so I'm going to check it out. And I also got to find out what their margins are on print on demand, like how much are they taking, how much do I have to sell the graphic novel for, stuff along those lines. If it's viable, then I'll definitely look into having it on there. Their partnership is with Global Comix, and I've already got my books on Global Comix, so it'd be interesting to see if it's like, would it be linked through Global Comix, where it's like I could say people reading the Global Comix and go to Comix Wellspring and have a book printed off for them on like a print-on-demand kind of deal. Stuff along those lines might be something to look into. Unless the margins are terrible. It's all new stuff that they got going on, a dingus, that I gotta start looking into. I'll definitely be looking into it more once I get the Squirrel book done. Just all part of the business stuff I gotta start looking into heavier Because once I have the Squirrel book done, and then I'll be working on the volume 2 of Cig and Joe. We're talking about getting very close to starting to work on, or having, worthwhile of looking into a website, I'll say. I didn't want to do a website with just one book. But having 2, 3 graphic novels is definitely something to look into. Plus, we'll have to see how well this does on Kickstarter to see if that's something I'm going to continue doing or not. If it doesn't do well on Kickstarter, then I don't really need Kickstarter because I can pay to have my own print runs done, and I can just do my own thing with that. I'll probably go like a Squarespace route. Something kind of simple. Where they essentially, it's like, you know, they essentially build it for you. And you just pay them monthly and they maintain it. I've thought about it. You know, there definitely would be probably Easter eggs, like Cig reading a How the Squirrels Saved Longview comic book. we could do all sorts of. Hell, I was even thinking about Dead the Grim Reaper Cig and Joe crossover. Playing around with some in my mind with some of that stuff and some of the jokes that I could have Cig saying that and interacting with your character. Something that we'll have to talk more about, Mel, because it'd be kind of cool to do you do an issue with Cig and Joe and Dead the Grim Reaper, and then I do an issue of using Dead the Grim Reaper and Cig and Joe, and then we'll both have one in each other's worlds. Whether I'll bring Dead into my world or I'll bring Cig and Joe into Dead's world, one of those two. It'd be kind of interesting to do. It would be kind of fun. Okay, cool, yeah. You can use any of my characters, Martha. Okay, cool. Martha, do you have your comic on Global Comix, or have you thought about doing something like that? You should check out Mel's Dingus also. Dead, the Grim Reaper, and Dead is spelled D-E-D. It's on Global Comix. There was a link for it in our Monday show's description. Also, if you want to just check it out that way. Oh, nice. Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. So you might want to stick with OCs when you do Global Comix. You just might, like you said, you might want to stick to your decapitation one and just do OCs. Hey, what's up, Massive Panda? This is going to be the scout ship for the insectoids. I'm modeling it after a bumblebee. This is all for my squirrel book coming up. No, I had never played any of those games. I've heard they're pretty good, but I haven't played them. I have heard about the Lord of the Rings game. I didn't realize it's by the same people. Yeah, I heard it was like a big, possible massive open world Lord of the Rings game.
Neon lights sound like a restless heart. City whispers secrets in the dark. Footsteps echo in the empty park, chasing shadows, falling apart. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hope, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
Static buzzes, a signal breaks through. Skyline flickers in a glitching hue. The world's a wire, and with a fuse burning bright.
I was a big fan of that Shadows of Mordor games and the sequel. Those were some damn good games.
Feel the pulse, it's incomplete. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hope, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark, dark, dark. Falling through the circuits of coded street. Reality shatters like a broken dream. Every spark a story, every glitch a scream. We're just pixels in the grand machine. Neon lights hum like a restless heart. City whispers secrets in the dark. Footsteps echo in the empty park, chasing shadows, falling apart. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hope, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark.
I loved how they used the Arkham Batman fight system. Also, the Assassin's Creed used that kind of system too, with the strikes and then the parry dodge button. And the Nemesis system that they used in the second one, I believe it was just the second, maybe it might have been both of them, was really interesting.
Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hunt, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark. Falling through the circuits, a coded stream. Reality shatters like a broken dream. Every spark a story, every glitch a scream. We're just pixels in the grand machine.
Okay, was it both? Yeah. Yeah, they shouldn't have. I mean, I understand patenting that because it was cool, but at the same time, though, it's like they should let other studios play around with that because it was a really badass system. It would have been really sick in Arkham, like, oh hey, what's up, Casher? My nephew's in there. It would have been really cool in Arkham, because imagine, okay, Batman gets you get beaten up by a regular henchman, and then that henchman becomes stronger. And you can actually like create a new supervillain by just keep losing to the guy where the point he becomes like a captain, and then before you know it, he's like Two-Face's second-hand guy, and he's got his own unique like almost power set, like turn him almost into a mini boss using that system. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Dingus. I'm working on some designs for this one of the spaceships for my new comic book, How the Squirrels Saved Longview. This is the scout ship that one of the insectoids use. Oh, I'm going to add that robot into, your robot idea is going to go into Cig and Joe after I get done with the squirrel book. The Squirrel book is a war story. Not as much humor as Cig and Joe. It's a war book. It's the invaders, the insectoids come into the park, and the squirrels go to war to protect their home. So it's going to be very much. It's kind of like the vibe I was going to say was kind of like 300, and 300 meets like Redwall. The squirrels are a warrior race, protectors of the park, and they're facing this invading army. And so the tone of it's going to be very much like a war story. I mean, I'm keeping it PG-13, of course, but that's kind of the overall gist. It's a war story. You have a good night, Ash. Oh yeah, I read almost all the Redwall books because they were in my school library when I was a kid, when I was like Cash's age. And I used to go to the library and grab the Redwall books. I actually own the first 5 myself. And I'm going to buy the rest of them. Good night, Cash. Have a good one. But yeah, it's... I love the Redwall series. Absolutely love it. Also, too, comic book-wise, have you read Mouse Guard? Mouse Guard is another one that's kind of Redwall themed, if you will. Hey, what's up, Phil? So it's kind of Redwall, Mouse Guard, kind of dealing with this interstellar threat. Yeah, Mouse Guard art, it looks great. That almost became a cartoon series for Netflix, but it never materialized. Yeah, if you get a chance to check out Mouse Guard is really cool, especially if you like anthropomorphic and you're like a fan of Redwall and stuff like that. Mouse Guard's really good. All right, that actually went off easier than I thought it would. Insectoid scout ship. All right. Ugh. All right, now let's work on the mothership. Have a good night, Dingus. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I like going a little bit more rougher with the designs, a little more steampunkish. I don't like going too clean with the stuff. I kind of like that kind of rough sci-fi look. Cig and Joe's a lot of the same way with its tech. Yeah, used. Like, if you ever watched the movie Battle for LA, I really liked the designs of the ships in Battle for LA. Yeah, it was a movie I think deserved a lot more love than it got. And my idea for the ship is that, so when it comes down to the park, the ship itself will break into 3 parts. And then the mothership is here, landed. One part comes over on this side, one part over here, and then it shoots out. Each one has an antenna, and then it creates an energy barrier force field around where they're at. So when it lands into the park, it'll create a force field around the whole park that won't allow people in and out. Except for the insectoids. So it traps the squirrels and the animals inside that park with this insectoid army for their fight. That is true, you know, and it causes more work, like you just said, but the payoff is it looks great. and it stands out, and people will, people appreciate that extra look. So I mean, I'm giving myself more work, but that's part of the challenge, and really that's part of the fun. And if you're not challenging yourself, then you're doing it wrong. You won't learn and get better. Trying to make this look kind of like a beehive in nature. And I don't know, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I really think this one's going to have people talking. I really think that this, if I can pull this off the way I want to, I really think people are going to be like, oh, hey, this, you checked out this LunchBox Warren guy's book? Yeah, I agree, Panda. It just, you get a feeling. And everyone that I've told this about too seems to be super excited. Oh, hail, Emily, hail. And the guy John at the comic book shop where I got Cig and Joe at, he seemed very interested in this one. It's people are interested in it, so I really do think this one might be a bit of a kickoff for me. I don't know for sure. Either way, I'm gonna have a whole blast making it, and I'm going to really enjoy and learn a lot while doing it. That is true.
the poles, it's incomplete. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hum, lost in the spark. We're alive in the electric dark, dark, dark. Falling through the circuits of cold extreme. Reality shatters like a broken dream. Every spark a story, every glitch a scream. We're just pixels in the grand machine. Neon lights hum like a restless heart. City whispers secrets in the dark. Footsteps echo in the empty park. Chasing shadows, falling apart. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a
You have a good night, Mel. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you, talk to you on Monday. If I get that picture done for our show, I will send it to you and see what you think about it. But you have yourself a good night, sir.
static buzzes, a signal breaks through. Skyline flickers in a clenching hue. The world's a wire, and we're the fuse, burning bright. Nothing left to lose. Fingers trace the rhythm, the beat. Feel the pulse, it's incomplete. Run to the edge, don't look back. Neon dreams on a glowing track. Lost in the hum, lost in the
right. Save that. Okay, so I've got the scout ship and the mothership designed. Tomorrow I'm going to work on carrier ship that carries like multiple insectoids, and then I'll work on some ground vehicles. Then I'm going to go back over the squirrel designs and make sure all those are set up. Do some work on the squirrels village and some drawing stuff for that. And we'll be able to get this thing going full steam ahead. But yeah, so we got everything going here. Good. For the first issue, I need to have the squirrel designs, some park drawings, and the scout ship. And then the village won't be introduced until the second issue. So, I've almost got everything I need to start doing on the first issue of the Squirrel book, and all the issues will be digitally on Global Comix, and then the entire graphic novel we put together for for printing. So, but yeah, I want to thank everyone for stopping by tonight. Martha, Mad Mel, Massive Panda, Dingus, Phil Leon, all you guys stopping by, Emily, and saying hi and talking is great. Catch me on here tomorrow. If you are watching this, like and subscribe. Catch me on here tomorrow as I'm working on more squirrel designs, and we'll get this going good. Tomorrow, my plan is essentially to work out in the morning, to get working on, and then come back, and then get working on art and designing stuff and having stuff ready to go. So tomorrow I will be on here live doing more drawings and design work. Friday I might be on last panel, but we might not be going. I'm not 100% sure. If I'm not on last panel, I will be doing a live drawing Saturday and Sunday also, and then Monday it'll be me and Mad Mel doing Super Mario Brother fan arts for the movie, and I'm excited about that. Thursday, I'm going to go with my nephew, my sister-in-law, and my brother to go watch the Mario Brothers movie, so I'm also kind of happy for that too. And until next time, my friends, as always, be safe, be good, and God bless.